So if you want to know about 10 weird things about Utah, then you are in the right place, my friends, because today I'm going to be sharing with you just 10. There are a lot more, but just 10 of the weird things that I thought when we moved here to Utah that I went, oh, never heard of that, or I didn't know about that. So let's hop right into it. Number one, pickleball. Have you ever heard of it? A few years ago, my parents and I and my family, we ended up taking a trip down to St. George, Utah. And at the place we were staying, they asked us if we wanted any pickleball paddles. And I looked at it, I looked at my family, I was like, number one, I have no idea what pickleball is, do you? And my husband's like, oh, I've heard of it. He's like, one of my friends, played, and I had no idea what it was. Well, long story short, my whole family ended up playing. My 4 kids, my parents, my husband, we all played. We had a blast. It's kind of like a cross between tennis and ping pong is kind of what it's like. You have a net that it looks like you're playing on a tennis court, and many times people are like, oh yeah, those are tennis courts. It's a smaller than a tennis court, but you play with a paddle or a racket was what they call, and you use a wiffle ball. And so the wiffle ball goes up and over the net. It is a blast, but I'm telling you, people here in Utah are pickleball obsessed. I had never even heard of it really before moving here, but it is a big deal here. So number one, pickleball. Number 2, moving here to Utah, it is not uncommon to see a ton of giant size poster signs that say, welcome home, Sister Smith, or welcome home, Elder Smith, or whatever it is. So here in Utah, there are a large number of members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, also known before as Mormons, and many of the people in the church, they, at the age of 18, 19, 20 even, they will serve missions for their church. And they go away, they serve their mission, and then they come back. And when they come back, they have a big celebration with a homecoming and all of that. And so it is not uncommon for any given week to see large posters and large signs, and even out in front of people's houses, they will have giant signs with the welcome home, welcoming their loved ones back. So that's number 2. Number 3, moving right along, it is not uncommon to see people wearing spaghetti strap kind of tank tops, if you will, but then they will have a t-shirt underneath them or a cap sleeve. Many people here like to dress more modestly, and I remember the first time I saw that, I was like, oh, that's an interesting fashion trend, but you just gotta get used to it. So you may or may not end up seeing that. Number 4, let's talk about the sweet tooth that lies in so many people here in Utah and their obsession for sodas and sweets. Yes, you heard that right, sodas and sweets. I actually, moving from out of state to here, I remember thinking like, gosh, it'd be nice to get like a really yummy cinnamon roll or one of those like delicious thick, yummy cookies, right? Well, Utah is full of delicious cookies, sodas, sweets. It is not uncommon to see lines wrapped around for people to wait for their soda. People here will get in a car. It's basically like a carpool line, but a drive-through, and in the drive-through, people will wait 20, 30 minutes to get their soda, and with a cookie or with pretzel bites or whatever. There are places called Swig and Sodalicious and Fizz and Quench It, and the list goes on and on. So something to be aware of. I had never even heard of that from when we were out of state. Moving here, people are like, hey, do you want to go get a swig? And I'm like, oh, what's a swig? It's like, oh, I'm going to just go get a soda. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, yeah, great, sure. But it's like an outing. It's something that you do. So that is the next one. Number 5, this one actually made me laugh so hard. Years ago when my husband was going to graduate school, here in Utah. We had just gotten married, and so when we lived here, I had played soccer in college, and I had graduated college and all of that, and I moved out here, and I thought, oh, you know what? I want to join an intramural soccer team, and I think that's going to be so fun. So he was finishing up school at BYU, and so I joined an intramural co-ed intramural soccer team, which was sort of fun. But the first time I remember being out on the field running, something happened and the play doesn't go our way, and one of my teammates yells, "Oh, fetch!" And I was like, what? Wait, what? And then the game keeps going, and somebody else says, like, you know, they mess up on something, and you hear the word, "Oh, shiz." And so Utah and some of the people here, they substitute swear words. So words that would be swear words, they substitute them for other words. And I actually got the biggest kick out of it. And recently, fast forward 17, 18 years or whatever, since my husband was in graduate school, I was at one of my son's soccer games a couple weekends ago, and I hear one of the coaches yelling at his players, and the other team had just scored a goal, and he stomped his foot and he stomped his hand, and he's yelling all sorts of funny substitute words, swear words, and I wish I would have gotten it on camera because I would have showed it to you here. It was hilarious. So don't be surprised if you hear some substitute swear words. Number 6, you are going to meet some of the friendliest people here, at least in my opinion. It is not uncommon to be walking around the park or to be somewhere or whatever it is. 9 times out of 10, people are going to wave to you. People are going to ask, if they see something that's wrong, they're going to ask, "Hey, how can I help?" I remember when we first moved here a couple of years ago, it was in March, and my son had a, nice warm Columbia jacket, and we forgot it at the park. And I thought, oh, dang. And we didn't realize that we had left it there until, I don't know, a day or two later. And this was a really busy park that lots of families and lots of kids ended up going to. And so when I told my son, I'm like, I think the next time we went to go look for his jacket, I'm like, that one's probably a goner. We'll just live and learn. Next time we'll try to be a little bit more careful, but might as well go swing by the park, just check, see if it's there, whatever. So 2 days later, a day and a half, 2 days later, we drive by, and his coat is hanging up on this, one of the little posts at the park, along with like 2 or 3 other jackets that were all just lined right up. And my son looks at me, he's like, "Oh my gosh, Mommy, I cannot even believe my jacket's here still." And I go, "I cannot believe your jacket's here." And he's like, "And somebody even hung it up for me." I said, "I know, that is so nice." So you will see here, there are so many just nice, kind, friendly people looking for ways to help, looking for ways to do good. And I thought, honestly, when I moved here, I thought, this is kind of a peculiar thing. Like, this is a little weird. I love this in the best sort of way. Number 7, I actually thought it was weird when we moved here. I remember getting to know different people, and I'm sitting at a soccer game and talking to this person, and I'm at tennis lessons with one of my kids. I'm talking to this family, and of course, something comes up about work, and I'm talking with them about work, and "Oh yeah, what do you do?" And one, "Oh, I'm a builder." "Oh, really? What, I'm a home builder." "Oh, okay." Talking to other people, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" "Oh, I'm a home builder." The more people I got to talk to around here in Utah, I have found either they are a home builder, their parents were home builders, their aunts, their uncles, their brothers, their cousins. There are so many different construction home builders here in Utah, which I actually thought was fascinating because I really had not met many living in California, different jobs and everything, but I thought that was kind of a weird, fun thing. Number 8 is going to be kind of switching gears here to just lifestyle. People here in Utah love to play. They love to play outdoors. They love their toys, and they love to go and do and see different things. So I remember one of the first times we were here, one of our neighbors has a giant RV, and they take their family out in their RV all the time. And I was like, oh, that's super cool. And then, another neighbor of mine, they've got, a couple of different boats, and they're always going out. And then we've got some other friends that have jet skis and side-by-sides and sand rails, and people love having, and then, kayaks, canoes, all the fun outdoorsy things here. People love to have fun. They love to be outdoors. They love to move. And I thought, oh, that's kind of weird, but that's cool. I like that. Okay, number 9, coming from California, California has excellent Mexican food, in my personal opinion. When we moved here to Utah, it took a little bit of getting used to the Mexican food that is here. Now, a lot of the Mexican food that we have noticed in the Salt Lake City area, in Utah County, is maybe kind of like a Tex-Mex, but not really. There are 2 really popular chain restaurants here in Utah. One is called Cafe Rio, and one is called Costa Vida. They are very similar, and this is their style of Mexican food. But first time I ever got a salad here, a lot of the salads will have a giant tortilla, lettuce on top, along with like rice or beans, your choice of meat, and then a scoop of sour cream or a scoop of guacamole. They put all these, tortilla chips on top with a little bit of, they have some kind of cheese that they put on top, and then like a scoop of pico de gallo, and that is your Mexican salad. And so I just remember thinking like, oh, this is very different from a lot of times the Mexican salads that I would get back in California, but it's grown on me and I love it. And they put this like creamy cilantro dressing on top. The dressing is delicious. And last but not least, number 10, just be aware of many restaurants, shops are closed on Sunday. So any local sort of boutique kind of place, any locally owned restaurant, 9 times out of 10, or shops, they will be closed on Sundays. So make sure you check before you go. We were surprised when my parents were in town once and they were like, oh, I need to run and get this. I'm like, yeah, no, that's closed. And they were like, it is? I said, yeah. A lot of the major retailers, though, are open on Sundays. Lots of things in Park City are open on Sundays. You're going to have your major places, again, major retailers that are going to be open, but a lot of locally owned places will be closed on Sunday. So I hope you found these 10 weird things about Utah helpful. And if you are thinking about making a move or relocating here to the Salt Lake City, Utah area, feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, and it would be our absolute pleasure to connect with you. Take care.